Hi, Julie here. I'm going to go through in this video and show you how to remove dust and scratches of highly reflective surfaces and also glass. So if you've ever tried to shoot glass on a mirror or even black perspex or acrylic, as it's called in other places, then you will probably know that it can be a little challenging sometimes, because doesn't matter how much you clean, you still get these dust and scratches. And if you're doing a product shoot, such as like with these glasses and things like that, then it can be a little annoying. Same with these little specular highlights can be a little bit challenging to get rid of, but we can clean it up in Photoshop pretty easy. So what I'm going to do is, I've opened my image in Photoshop. I'm going to go through and I am going to duplicate that. So you can duplicate it any way you want, just duplicate it, and I'm going to call this layer Cleanup. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to apply the dust and scratches filter. So if you come to filter, come to noise, and come down to dust and scratches, and it's going to come up with this little box here. Now just find an area where you've got some dust and scratches, so you can see it in the little box here, and you can zoom out if you want. The radius is how much it's going to blur that out. Now just go until it just disappears. You don't want it to go too far. Now you can play with the threshold, but I find that that sometimes leaves like a bit of a halo, so I leave my threshold at 0. The radius depends on your image. You can go and check another area. Sometimes you might have to apply this twice to get rid of some of the scratches, because if you go too far you'll actually remove detail in your image. So go to sort of a mid-range and start from there. So I'm just going to click OK, and it will apply that filter. Now what it's also done is taken a lot of the clarity out of my image, so we don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to apply a layer mask. I'm going to invert that, so Control or Command I on a Mac will invert that. And what we need to do then is come in with a soft black brush, just a small one, and just go in, zoom in so you can see what you're doing, and just come in and paint over any of those areas. Now it can take a little while, yes, it's true, but it is a lot quicker than trying to do it with the healing brush or whatever. So coming through on some of these slightly bigger areas, you could go for a bigger brush, especially because it's just black. Come through and clean it up. Where you've got the specular highlights, you can soften those down a little bit so that they're not quite so bad. On just working your way through anything that you think you want to clean up. So it's just blurred it a little bit, but it's given it sort of a creative blur. See, now that's my reflection. I can just run the blur filter over that and get rid of it. Like I said, some of them may need to have a little bit more of a blur or another pass, quite a little bit stronger put through. That's up to you, but I find that that is a really quick and easy way to remove particularly the dust and scratches that you can get on glassware and shiny surfaces, because it just, or you clean it and then 2 seconds later it seems to have attracted every dust particle in the room. So I find using this is a quick and easy way to go through and remove it. Some glassware has minor imperfections and scratches in it. This can come through and clean all that up for you too. So there's no point in watching me go through and do this anymore. I'll pop back in a minute when I'm finished. Okay, so I just quickly went through and finished that off. So if you have a look at the before and after, that has removed some of those bright specular highlights, and it has removed all the dust and scratches and things that were in the glassware and so forth. I've still got a bit of work to do on the background here that I can come in and clean that up as well. But what I'm going to do is there's a couple of other spots that are a little bit difficult to get rid of. I'm still trying to remove some of those scratches. It was even really handy to cover up the labels that were on the stems on some of the glasses. So there was a label there, so I have helped blur that a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back in, take another layer, I'm going to drag that up to the top, and I'm going to just call it second cleanup or something along those lines. I can't spell, so it's okay. I'm going to go back in to the dust and scratches, but this time I'm just going to move over. I want to get rid of those ones, so I'm just going to blur that a little more until they're gone. Now that has significantly blurred the whole image, which is obviously what I don't want. But again, just putting on the mask, inverting that, and then I can come in and just touch up those little spots without it blurring the whole image. So anything that was just a little bit stubborn before, you should be able to get rid of on a second pass. Just don't use as much of it because it obviously blurs all your image. So that's it for using the dust and scratches. It's really quick and easy. I find it is easier than using the patch healing tool in the long run, because once you've sort of set it up, you can just move it around, and especially if you've got like a display tablet or whatever that you're working on, then it can be really super quick and easy to just move around and get rid of any of those marks that you need to. So that's it for dust and scratches. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.